Looks like the shock pulled all the way through, or this was installed wrong. I'll take a look at this side. Yeah, there's your problem. Hey, what's up YouTube? Dan the Fix-It Man. Got another quick video here for you. I'm going to show you how to change your rear shocks on a 2006 Toyota Tundra. This happens to be a double cab, and this is going to be the same for 2000 to 2006. Basically any first gen Tundra, it's the same process. I'll show you how easy it is to do. Now these shocks were previously replaced. It looks like somebody either missed a washer on the top or they stacked them on the bottom. Either way, they put them in the wrong order or the wrong place. So it looks like what has happened is it started to pull through. Basically the nut has pulled into the bushing. Looks like it completely pulled all the way through on the driver's side, but let's get into it and I'll show you how easy it is to do. See that second washer? That's supposed to be on the other side of this opening. Luckily that hole didn't get damaged too much. I mean, it's probably a little wallered out, but not too bad. I think this is still gonna work. Take a look and see how loose that is. So it looks like the other washer is above on this side. So we are gonna have to take the nut off on this one. Now a lot of times this shock rod is a pain. You know, it's really hard to get that nut off. So a lot of times you'll end up having to use a sawzall or a torch or whatever just to get that to come loose. But if you are doing this job, you might want to spend a little bit of time, spray some PB Blast or some sort of penetrating oil on that nut, let that soak in a little bit, because a lot of times they do get stuck. Of course, in my case, it's just going to come right out as soon as I loosen this lower shock mount, and this is just going to fall right out of here. I'm just going to use a 17 millimeter on both sides, holding it with a wrench here. See if we can get it out with the Milwaukee mid torque. There we go. So that's how it was installed. I probably could just put this one back in and get another bushing underneath here if I had to, but I already bought new shocks, so we're gonna go ahead and put them in. I don't know how long ago these were installed or how long they lasted. Looks like there is a little bit of corrosion starting here, so definitely important to read the instructions or just at least understand how you're installing these, because this washer underneath was definitely the wrong way to do it. So let's grab the new one. I'll show you how easy it is to put that in. Now this one is already compressed with this strap, and I'll take that off here in a minute, but I just want to show you, you see it's already showing you how you need to do this. You've got the lower washer, the rubber bushing, and then the vehicle mount goes basically right in between there, and then you need to stack on the rubber bushing, the washer, and then finally that top nut and get it torqued. So let's just take this apart and see if we can put that together. Now, by the way, I'm doing this without lifting the vehicle. You could lift the vehicle. It might be a little bit easier. You won't have to compress the shock or fight that, but I'm going to see if I can do it without. If not, I can always just lift this up and support it if we need to droop the suspension down. Probably easier if you do it that way, but you don't necessarily have to. I'm just going to cut this strap here. All right, so you see we just have the one bushing and the lower washer here. So that is ready to go up through our opening here. Let's go on this side of the parking brake cable. That's how far we're going to have to push that up. I don't think that's going to be too bad. Let's see if we can do it. Not bad at all. And grab your bolt, stuff it through there. Just be careful or mindful of those threads. Don't go pounding that in. If it's not lined up, take some time with a drift or a punch or something to line up the opening before you go pounding that in. But we got lucky that kind of stayed in place, so we can put our nut back on. Now we can go ahead and torque this now because the car is already on the ground at compression. So if you're doing this up in the air, you might want to wait until you're done to torque this, but this is going to be torqued to 64 foot-pounds. All right, and then we can put the top bushing on. Now you'll notice the bushing is not perfectly symmetrical. See, this side here has a little larger diameter that sticks out. It's this one here, the smaller one, it's supposed to go facing the vehicle. So that one faces down right there. Then we can put that last washer on, and then we'll get that nut started. Now there is a torque spec for this top nut as well. It's 15 foot-pounds. I'm just going to snug this up a little bit with this ratcheting wrench. I'm not sure I'll be able to get a torque wrench in there, but I'll give it a try. Now if you hold the upper shock body, you might be able to prevent that top stud from spinning. Feels like we're getting somewhere. All right, I'm going to see if we can get the torque wrench in there real quick. Got it set to 15 foot-pounds. Oh, let's see if that'll work. Got it. Ah, there it is right there. Let's see if we can get this back off. All right, well, that was the key on this one. This semi-deep socket from Capri worked really well. All right, well, take a look at the other side here. Oh, here's what they did. They put the washer and then the rubber bushing and then the nut. And so the rubber bushing is pulled up and the nut is stuck on that. We're probably just gonna have to get out the sawzall and cut this one out. It's probably gonna be easier than trying to tear off this bushing. Let me see if I can pry the bushing down real quick with a pry bar. If it does come down, maybe we'll try to back that off with a little bit of patience. I don't know if I can pry that out of the way. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. There's the nut. So the nut just got pulled all the way through that bushing. I just helped it the rest of the way off. Maybe we'll get lucky. See if I can get some vice grips, or sometimes you can even just use a crescent wrench on the top because it's kind of a flattened spot, and get our 14mm ratcheting wrench and see if we can back that out. Now, if you have time, it's a good idea to hit this maybe the night before with a little bit of penetrating oil or PB blaster. Stuff works really well. Oh, we got it. Can't believe that that came loose. All right, now I pretty much run out of room to hold that with a crescent wrench, but I'm using my other hand, just grabbing the top of the shock body. Luckily, it's loose enough still. We should be able to back that off the rest of the way. Okay, we got it. Success. Now we can go down and take off that lower shock mount and pull this one out. I'm just using a pry bar to take the pressure off of this to pop it right out. These are my new pry bars. I just got these from Mayhew. I love that they come in blue too. Most of them are red, but really like this Dominator series of pry bars. I just pull this one out. All right, so we're just gonna take off this top nut and the top washer along with this top rubber bushing. And then we're just gonna feed that right up through that same opening. And then I'm just gonna push that up. Now you can use the pry bar here below as well, just to try to help line this up. Once it's lined up in position, you should just be able to push that bolt through. It's okay to wiggle it a little bit, but you really want to be careful or mindful of those threads. So don't just go start beating on that with a hammer. And then we can get the nut started on this side. And then we can go ahead and get this torqued to 64 foot-pounds. Remember, we're already on the ground, but if you are up in the air or doing this on a rack, you might want to wait until you put it on the ground to tighten this. All right, now we can head up top. Now I just noticed right here up on the frame, there's a lot of scratches going this direction. So that tells me that they probably did have to use the sawzall method last time when doing this job. It's just too bad that they didn't get the bushing and the washer and everything in the right order. I mean, we all make mistakes. That's how you learn, but just make sure you don't make that same mistake. And just put the bushing on and then the washer and finally the nut. Get that snug down as far as we can by hand. There's really not a lot of room up there, but see if we can make it work. Okay, let's get the torque wrench and see if we can get on there. All right, I just cannot get that. Now I tried a lot of different ways and methods to get a torque wrench up in here, but there's just no room. I didn't have the room to be able to get on there even with that semi-deep socket. But if you look closely, you can see that rubber bushing is pretty much pushed out equal with that washer, maybe just a hair beyond. Tried to match it with the other side, and that's about where you want it. All right, let's jump up and down and see what it sounds like now. Well, what a huge difference. No more noise and everything looks good. This is ready to get back on the road. In this case, this was just an improper installation last time with the washer and the bushings in the wrong place. But you know, we all do make mistakes. It's just important to learn from them. And of course, just remember to torque everything to spec. 64 foot-pounds on the bottom and 15 foot-pounds on the top if you can get a torque wrench in there. If not, just torque it down until those bushings start to squeeze out about flush with the washers or just a little bit beyond. I hope you liked the video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you don't mind. That does help me out. And of course, I'll get a link in the description to these replacement shocks along with some of the other parts and tools used in the video as well. Thanks so much for watching and good luck.